3 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. Ty Englebright, and I am in studio with Miss Paulette Gray. How are you this morning?
Doing great, Ty. Thanks for having me.
Well, we are so glad to have you here today. And you are here to talk about project graduation.
Exactly right. Really looking forward to project graduation coming up this Friday evening after commencement, making the final preparations to get ready for our graduates, and just to have an evening of fellowship, food, and fun for them.
It's always, I don't know, I've been involved in some when I was working at the bank, but I bet the kids are really excited about it. You can probably feel it with the energy from all the kids.
Exactly right. I was able to sit down and talk to the seniors about some of the activities and just some things to look forward to, and I know they're ready, and we're trying to get ready for them.
Well, tell us a little bit about the history of Project Graduation and then your involvement with it.
Right. Project Graduation was established here in our community a couple of decades ago. We had, I think, Miss Terry Cox, George Kilgore, several other adults got into trying to provide for our students an evening free from alcohol or drug, locking the students in, and just having activities for them throughout the night. And so Project Graduation continued, and this is the third year now that the Community Disciples will be sponsoring Project Graduation.
And I was going to ask you a little bit about that without getting too technical, but your involvement with Community Disciples, of course, but tell us a little bit about how the Community Disciples' involvement with Project Graduation came about.
Well, we were approached 3 years ago about Project Graduation. It came to a point where a 501c organization was needed for the liability purposes to sponsor that, and we met and discussed it. And of course, our mission is to serve the youth, and we felt like that's one way that we can serve the youth in our community. So we were excited to do it and just continuing to learn. We work really closely with Sue Sims, who spearheaded Project Graduation for several years, and she still comes and is a part of Project Graduation, and we're really excited to be able to do this for our community and our kids.
How great that is. Yeah, Sue Mama is a Project Graduation
Yes,
mainstay.
she is.
Tell us, I know there's a lot of people, and we don't want to get into naming everybody, but are there, you mentioned Sue Mama. Are there other folks that are particularly close to you in getting all this together?
Well, with Project Graduation, the parents do the majority of the work. We have parent meetings and started back in February, and not all parents come, but we have a small core group who signed up to go out and to do contacts with our businesses, churches, and organizations, and they've done that. And at this point, we're probably right at about $15,000 cash that's been donated by our community,
Wow.
Tons of games and prizes as well. So we're excited. We of course have activities planned that will take a little of the cost that we have to pay our vendors.
Right.
But other than that, the majority of that goes to our seniors.
Yeah, and it's a fun night. They have different areas and games that they play to win some of this cash and all these prizes, and they come away from Project Graduation not only with some cool stuff, but just feeling loved, don't they?
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
like
yes.
this community cares for them.
And the community really
And they
does.
do.
Exactly right. It's just a true testament to the willingness of our community to give and to serve our kids. So it's a great evening.
Yes, it is. As far as you mentioned, there's different vendors and booths out there and stuff. This is all held in the cab.
All in the cabin in the cafeteria at the high school.
Okay.
Yes. Our students come in, we open the doors at 11 and lock them at 11:30. We check them in, and they are locked in the entire night unless a parent comes to sign them out. But they come in, we start with food, and we do a slideshow, and then the activities start. They have an opportunity to get on bouncers, do obstacle courses, play bingo, anything that they would like to do, laser tag, just lots of different things. And then, of course, we have the all-loving cash machine where they can get in and the tickets. They collect tickets over the night, and then at the end, our bankers are there,
Right.
and we total it and try to cut them a check before they walk out the door that morning.
Wow, fun. Are there other activities that are in conjunction with Project Graduation? I know it's a big week. Of course, last night was baccalaureate, and we have class night coming up on Tuesday night. Well, are there any other activities that sort of coexist or with Project Graduation?
To the best of my knowledge, after graduation, of course, it's Project Graduation, and not for sure after that.
Okay. Well, good deal. What can folks do at this point to help you, and is there anything that we can do, the public, as of right now, to help you with Project Graduation?
Sure. We are continually accepting any type of donations. One of the things that we're looking for right now would be like 12-ounce or 12 packs of Cokes or Diet Cokes or Sprites, anything like that that someone just wants to pick up when they're at the grocery store. That's always a thing that we can use. We ran out toward the end of Project Graduation last year, so that's something that we could use. And if anyone wants to do that, they can drop that off at the primary school.
Okay.
We would be glad to have that. But as far as the community, it's such a generous community, Ty.
It is.
Just can't say enough about it.
Awesome. So they can do that up until
Friday.
Up until Friday.
Up until Friday. Yes, we'll be glad to have that and to take that in. But pretty much everything else is done. Our businesses, our restaurants, they provide our food for the evening and for breakfast, and everything else is just there.
I've been out there a few times. Haven't pulled the all-nighter yet. Of course, my senior's next year.
Yes.
I'm sure I'll pull the all-nighter. But I've been out there at different time slots during, whether it's been late in the evening when it first starts or early in the morning for breakfast. And, it's just a neat atmosphere. Early in the morning, kids are kind of tired, but there's lots of smiles, and parents are serving breakfast. And just what a nice thing to have in our community for our graduates. Keeps them safe. And provides them, just shows them that community cares.
Exactly right. We'll have about 95% of the student graduating class to attend.
I was going to ask you, yeah.
And then one of the requirements when we took over was that our students are not allowed to drive home.
Right.
So they have to have a parent pick them up. We worked with Ms. Vanessa Massey and kind of absorbed Project Pick Me Up into that. So our students aren't allowed to drive home by themselves, and that helps us have a sense of, I guess, a certainty of making sure that we've had a great time that evening and that they can get home safely.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, is there anything else that we need to do besides thank everybody for their donations and their help and making this possible? And thank you to the Community Disciples for 3 years ago to pick this up, because there was some thought that it wouldn't make it.
Right. Well, again, that's just part of our service to our community. As you're driving around or you're going through Princeton, if you'll see a gold flyer in the window, it'll show your Project Graduation sponsors. If you do see that, just please thank them for us and thank them for serving our kids.
And quickly, let's talk about the Community Disciples. You all meet on Sundays at 6 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, the first and third Sundays
First and third.
6 p.m. at the Mary Jane Jones Community Center. It's 108 West Green Street. And we just actually had our father-daughter dance Blossoms.
Right.
Miss Angela Blair does such a fine job planning that entire event, and that went off. I think she said it's probably the largest crowd that she's had, at upwards of 200.
Wow.
We're there for that, and she has a committee that supports and helps with that, and lots of volunteers. So even though people might not be a community disciple, they still volunteer to help and to support us. And then we'll have, coming up in August, we'll have our annual banquet. So Greg Smith, former Dotson standout and Caldwell County High School basketball player, as well as Milwaukee Bucks, he will be our speaker.
Ought to be a great banquet. I've attended the past several years, and you guys do wonderful work for our community. Can't thank you enough. And we just say congratulations to our graduates, the graduating class of 2017. Thank you for your efforts with Project Graduation as well as the Community Disciples, and we appreciate everyone's support with Project Graduation.
Exactly. Thank you so much for having us.
Have a great day, and thanks for being here.
Okay, you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ty.
All right, you're welcome. That's Miss Paulette Gray. She is the chairwoman